Taylor Swift said it best, me, me, me. That is the message that we are sending when we listen to someone else express their own struggles and find a way to make it about ourselves. As we know, Taylor Swift right now is being accused of fat phobia for daring to speak about her body issues. The scene in question where she gets on a scale and it says fat is being called out by many on Twitter, and as a result, Taylor has now decided to remove that part of the music video. Now, fat phobia is a real problem within our society and something that is completely unproductive. Something else that is unproductive though is a person who is being shamed for talking about their own struggle with body dysmorphia. What we are telling Taylor right now is that it is not okay for her to talk about her own struggles and express herself through her art. Taylor never said that being overweight is bad. She simply expressed that she had struggled with body issues her whole life, and no matter what she sees on the scale, she's just never happy with it. Now, by this point, I think we all know the story about what is going on and this whole unfortunate situation. Now, yesterday when I first covered the story, I spoke about all of the backlash that there were about the music video in question. Now, since then, there has been a very predictable update to this whole story. Now, The Guardian in their article, Taylor Swift edits music video after fat-phobic accusations, said the video of Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero, the lead single from her new album Midnight, has been altered days after its initial release to remove the word fat from one of its scenes. The original clip, directed by Swift, the 52-year-old singer and songwriter steps on a bathroom scale whose dial spins to reading fat. In a new version of the clip, Swift steps on the scale, receiving a look of disapproval from the doppelganger, also played by Taylor, but no reading is shown. Now, there has been a variety of opinions about this on Twitter. Now, I usually have one simple rule, and that is do not listen to anything that Twitter has to say. It is an extremely vocal minority of people that just holds way too much power and influence over people. In fact, the new study recently showed that 90% of the engagement on Twitter comes from only 10% of its users. Twitter has a shockingly small user base and an even smaller amount of people that actually tweets every day. It is usually just a small group of people tweeting 200 times a day, and if you are one of these people, you should probably think about getting a job. Now, the article goes on to say the edit comes after some fan and commentators criticized the scale scene for perpetuating fat phobia. On Twitter, an eating disorder therapist and body positivity blogger said that the clip reiterates yet again that it's everyone's worst nightmare to look like us, while a teen Vogue writer describes the scene as lazy. In having the word fat appear on the scale, she made a choice to explicitly name her demon, the fear of being called fat, which is fat phobia in its most literal sense, and you are an idiot in the most literate sense. Saying fat is not fat phobic. Discriminating against people based on the fact that they are overweight is. Fat phobia is a real issue. I see it every day. People make comments about overweight people, telling them to go to the gym and thinking that shaming people will just make them lose weight, despite all of the science proving that it does not. Overweight people know that they are overweight. Telling them is not going to make any type of difference. Now, granted, even I used to be like this. I have a friend who has been struggling with weight his whole life. So have I, although it has been in the opposite direction. And I used to tell him all the time, all you need to do is just work harder. Then I educated myself, and now I know that I was ignorant, and I think that you can still educate yourself on body dysmorphia. The problem is people not understanding that some people deal with body issues, and no matter how good they look to others, they still see a fat person in the mirror. The song goes on to say the problem is me, and then talks about acceptance. Allow people to express their struggles and stop making everything about you. I should be allowed to talk about being overweight, and you need to understand that that has nothing to do with you or anybody else that might be overweight. Taylor is expressing how she feels, and she should be allowed to do that.